Breaking news coming out. Luigi Mangione, the suspect in the United Healthcare CEO assassination, he has been detained. The alleged assassin has been captured, they're saying, at a McDonald's in Pennsylvania. Take a look at the latest headlines with me. Luigi Mangione, suspect in the United Healthcare CEO assassination. Former Ivy Leaguer nabbed in Pennsylvania at McDonald's. Now, we've got video footage and articles coming out. I'm going to share with you the latest. I'm also taking a look at a live feed right now as they're saying that police are about to come out and make a statement here shortly. Now, in the meantime, though, in about the past 2 hours or so, we're hearing that he was captured, and now this is starting to roll out all across the news media headlines. Police have identified a 26-year-old Maryland man as the suspect in last week's assassination of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, who was shot from behind outside a New York City Hilton hotel hours before a shareholder conference on Wednesday. So they're saying they now believe they have detained the individual who they think this is. Luigi Nicholas Mangione was arrested in Altoona, Pennsylvania Monday morning after a McDonald's employee spotted him and thought he matched the suspect on a wanted poster. Police responded to the location of reports of a person matching the description of a man wanted for questioning in Thompson's murder. But Altoona police said they initially took him into custody on unrelated charges. High-level law enforcement sources told Fox News and News Digital that he had a ghost gun similar to the suspected weapon, a suppressor, and a fake ID in his possession when taken into custody. The Associated Press also reported that he had writings critical of the healthcare industry. And here's a photo of the young man that they have taken into custody, that they have detained. This is Luigi Mangione. This is a picture of him on Facebook, and I'm hearing that all of his social media platforms are still up and available. People are looking him up, finding information on this individual. Mangione graduated from the elite Gilman School, a private high school in Baltimore, at the top of his class. Videos of his graduation ceremony shows that he delivered the commencement speech, where he thanked his parents and his classmates' parents for making the investment. He seemed like a smart kid. He was always doing the right thing, it seemed like, a former classmate told Fox News Digital Monday. Wasn't crazy. He said the news came as a shock when he had heard of his arrest. Now, it's not like he wasn't outgoing or introverted, he said. Nice kid. Always had a smile on his face. Never really got the vibes of him being socially awkward. So that's why I'm really surprised. I graduated in 2015. He graduated 2016. It's crazy how 9 years later, how much people can change. And here's the CEO that was assassinated, Brian Thompson. Luigi Mangione's suspected involvement in the case is deeply distressing news on top of an already awful situation, a spokesperson of Fox News said. Our hearts go out to everyone affected. Here on campus, our focus will remain on caring for and educating our students. Mangione went on to graduate from the University of Pennsylvania with bachelor and master's degrees in engineering, and it was part of the Eta Kappa Nu Honor Society for Electrical and Computer Engineering. Mangione was active on social media with accounts on X, Facebook, and Instagram. Posts discussed a range of interests, including artificial intelligence and social commentary. His criminal record included, in December of 2023, a misdemeanor case in Honolulu, Hawaii, for trespassing at the Nuuanu Pali Lookout. New York City Mayor Eric Adams said at a press conference on Monday that he matched the description of the identification we've been looking for, and that is in the possession of several items that we believe will connect him to this particular incident. So there you have it, you guys. Now, this coming out from Fox News. Let's take a look at some of this video footage so that way you can see exactly what is going on here. Let's take a look at this news report so that way you can see the latest.
This is an ABC News special report.
Hi, I'm Diane Macedo. We are coming on the air because multiple law enforcement officials say a person of interest is now being questioned in the New York City murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. They say he's identified as 26-year-old Luigi Mangione. Here's New York City Mayor Eric Adams with an update.
Thompson of United Healthcare was the victim of a senseless act of violence. Our officers have been working around the clock. Many of them did not go home to pursue this individual. It was crucial that we were able to remove him off the streets of America and we were going to seek him out no matter where he was at the time. And so this is a strong person of interest. The police commissioner and chief of detectives will go over where we are right now in the investigation. He matches the description of the identification we've been looking for. He's also in possession of several items that we believe will connect him to this incident. How did we do it? Good old-fashioned police work. The chief of detectives and the police commissioner made the decision to release as much of a photo that we had at the time. We sent it across the country, and someone, a McDonald's employee, did something we ask every American to do. If you see something, say something, but most importantly, do something. And they did. And because of that, we believe we have a strong person of interest to deal with this case. I want to now turn it over to the Police Commissioner of the City of New York, Commissioner Tisch.
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon, everyone. Earlier this morning in Altoona, Pennsylvania, members of the Altoona Police Department arrested Luigi Mangione, a 26-year-old male, on firearms charges. At this time, he is believed to be our person of interest in the brazen targeted murder of Brian Thompson, CEO of United Healthcare, last Wednesday in Midtown Manhattan. The suspect was in a McDonald's and was recognized by an employee who then called local police. Responding officers questioned the suspect, who was acting suspiciously and was carrying multiple fraudulent IDs as well as a U.S. passport. Upon further investigation, officers recovered a firearm on his person as well as a suppressor, both consistent with the weapon used in the murder. They also recovered clothing, including a mask consistent with those worn by our wanted individual. Also recovered was a fraudulent New Jersey ID, matching the ID our suspect used to check into his New York City hostel before the shooting incident. Additionally, officers recovered a handwritten document that speaks to both his motivation and mindset. NYPD detectives are en route to Pennsylvania as we seek to interview the subject further. This apprehension is thanks to the tireless work of the greatest detectives in the world, and of course, the strong relationships we have with our local law enforcement partners. On every level, local, state, and federal, we all serve the same public safety mission. And this case, which captured the attention of an entire nation, is another example of how connected we are and how important it is to work together, share information, and pursue every lead. For just over 5 days, our NYPD investigators combed through thousands of hours of video, followed up on hundreds of tips, and processed every bit of forensic evidence, DNA, fingerprints, IP addresses, and so much more to tighten the net. We deployed drones, canine units, and scuba divers. We leveraged the domain awareness system, Argus cameras, and conducted aviation canvasses. And our detectives also went door to door, interviewing potential witnesses and doing the good old-fashioned police work that our investigators are famous for. This combination of old-school detective work and new-age technology is what led to this result today. And we must also acknowledge the instrumental role the media and the public played in this case. The images that we shared with the public were spread far and wide, and the tips we received led to the recovery of crucial evidence. We should never underestimate the power of the public to be our eyes and our ears in these investigations. This is the third time in 3 weeks that a member of the public has seen something and said something and done something that led to a high-profile arrest. The triple stabbing homicide in Manhattan, the gunpoint robberies in Queens during which an NYPD officer was shot, and now this. Now, the case will continue through the criminal justice process. And while we are proud of today's accomplishment, we must, of course, remember that a family is in mourning. I want to again extend my sympathies to Brian's family, his co-workers, and all who knew him. Finally, I want to thank the women and men of the NYPD, especially our Detective Bureau personnel, with a strong assist from our intelligence analysts. We also thank the SAC of the FBI's Criminal Investigative Division, Leslie Rodriguez-Bekshies. And I want to commend the staff of the Manhattan DA's office, and especially DA Alvin Bragg. He has been working with us 24/7 on this case, and I am incredibly grateful for his partnership. I'll now pass it along to our great Chief of Detectives, Joe Kenny, who will provide additional information. Chief.
Thank you, Commissioner. Good afternoon. As the Commissioner stated earlier, a male was taken into custody today in Altoona, Pennsylvania this morning. He has been identified as Luigi Nicholas Mangione. He's a male, 26 years old. He was born and raised in Maryland. We know he has ties to San Francisco, California, and his last known address was Honolulu, Hawaii. He has no prior arrest history in New York. Members of the NYPD Detective Bureau are currently traveling to Pennsylvania with members of the Manhattan District Attorney's Office to interview this subject. This case was brought to a successful conclusion based on the coordinated effort between numerous NYPD units, including the Intelligence and Counterterrorism Bureau, our federal partners at the FBI, the Manhattan District Attorney's Office, and of course, members of the Altoona Police Department in Pennsylvania. On Thursday, one day after this crime was committed, the NYPD released a photo of the shooter in this case. This picture was obtained by the NYPD during one of their extensive video canvasses. We took that photograph and we asked for the public's help in identifying this subject, and the public responded. Hundreds of tips began to pour into our hotline. Each tip was investigated thoroughly, and we began to release additional photographs as they came into our possession. The NYPD provided these photos to numerous media outlets. Local, national, and international outlets released the photo via television, print, social media, and online content. Luckily, a citizen in Pennsylvania recognized our subject and called local law enforcement. Members of the Altoona Police Department responded to the call, and based on their investigation, they notified the NYPD. This investigation is still active and ongoing. Thank you very much.
Shooting first, and then we'll. Mark?
I had a couple of questions about the document that he was found in possession with. Can you go a little bit more in depth about those motivations that you mentioned? Was that CEO specifically named in that document? Was there anything more about him wanting to go after others? And also in that document, was there any indication that explains us how the level of detail that he went into killing him? Like, is there anything?
Like I said, that document is currently in the possession of the Altoona Police Department as part of their investigation. But just from briefly speaking with them, we don't think that there's any specific threats to other people mentioned in that document. But it does seem that he has some ill will toward corporate America.
Over here, sir.
MJ?
Chief, was the suspect wearing a mask at the time he was spotted in the McDonald's? And also, criminal cases often have a linchpin. Can you point to a single linchpin that helped crack this case?
There's numerous linchpins in this case, in the fact that we've recovered an enormous amount of forensic evidence, an enormous amount of video, and once again, with your help and the public's help. So I really couldn't put it on one thing, but if I had to, it would be the release of that photograph from the media.
You said he had a passport on him. Do you believe he was trying to flee the country? And also, are you still looking for any evidence in Central Park in regards to the bike?
We had divers in the water yesterday that came up negative results. The passport, we don't believe that he was planning on doing any traveling at this time. We don't think at this point in our investigation, we don't think he was trying to flee the country.
The person at the McDonald's, were they buying food? What were they doing at that exact moment?
He was an employee at the McDonald's.
Right. But what was the suspect doing?
He was sitting there eating.
Will the suspect be brought back to New York and charged here? And when?
We're going to have to work that out with the Manhattan District Attorney's Office in Altoona, Pennsylvania. He's going to be facing gun charges there, and at some point we'll work out through extradition to bring him back to New York to face charges here, working with the Manhattan District Attorney's Office.
Hi, Anita from the New York Post. I was just hoping to get more details on the capture itself. Did he put up a fight? Did he say anything to cops? And we've also reported that he published online anti-health care industry rantings. Can you share with us some of the services that he posted on?
We're still working through his social media. We're going to do a complete scrub of that. Preliminarily, like I said, he seems that he has some ill will toward corporate America, but that will all come out as part of our investigation. We're not done here. We're still going to be putting this together. We're still going to be working very hard to bring this to a successful conclusion.
And the capture itself, did he put up a fight? Did he say anything to police?
I don't have that information.
Oh, sorry. Can you elaborate on how he got there, the path he took from Port Authority and on the George Washington Bridge to Altoona, PA?
Same thing. This just happened this morning. We'll be working, backtracking his steps from New York to Altoona, Pennsylvania.
I was going to ask if we knew anything, if he took a bus to Philadelphia first and then somehow got to Altoona. But
We're still working on that. We're still working through that.
Britain. Is there any indication that anybody else was helping him from the inside, you know, as far as tracking the CEO's movements?
Once again, we're still working this investigation very hard. It's not at its conclusion yet. That could come out during our investigation, but as of right now, we have no indication that that took place.
Chief, did he have any weapons or anything like that with him when he was arrested?
He was in possession of a ghost gun that had the capability of firing a 9mm round and a suppressor.
Can you get into a little bit about the technical aspects of the investigation? I know you deployed an unprecedented amount of technology. You also activated the Sentry program through Intel. Can you talk about how that is going to play into actually building the case as far as cell phone and all of the other technical aspects of what you've done?
In this case, it really came down to technology was the use of drones in Central Park, and really comes down to the video canvas that we did. We used every source of video that we could collect, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours from hundreds of sources, and that helped bring this to where we are right now.
The gun is it believed to be the gun used in the shooting? And there was some talk that it was a veterinarian type gun. Is that accurate?
No, as of right now, the information we're getting from Altoona is that the gun appears to be a ghost gun, may have been made on a 3D printer, the capability of firing a 9mm round. Obviously, that will come out during our ballistics testing.
Oliver?
Yeah, Oliver Barnes from the Financial Times. Do you have any indication like how long this handwritten, is it a handwritten manifesto that you found on the suspect? And then also whether or not he put it online at all?
Don't know if it's online. As of right now, it's a handwritten 3-page document.
Chief, does he have ties to that area, and was he someone who you knew by name before his arrest?
We believe he may have attended college in Pennsylvania, but like I said earlier, he has ties to Maryland and California and Hawaii.
And you knew him by name before today. Was his name on your radar?
Excuse me?
Was his name on your radar? Was he someone who you had been looking into before his arrest?
No, we did not have his name prior to today.
Lynn? Britain. Okay. Does he have any prior arrests? I know there were none for New York City, but is there any prior arrests anywhere else in the country?
We have not come across any arrests in the country.
Chief, hi, how are you? On two things. On the ghost gun, is it something you're going to be looking into to see if he made it himself and can he make that himself? Or would he have to buy the gun the way it was?
No, once again, that'll be part of our investigation as we follow up.
I mean, obviously he's going to face murder charges, but is there any chance that he could face any other charges because he was targeting the CEO and because of his writings and other things that we're now finding on him? Federal charges or
that determination will be made by Alvin Bragg.
Yes, what connections does he have in Pennsylvania that you know of? Are they in Altoona specifically?
We believe he attended college in Pennsylvania.
Does he know anybody in Pennsylvania?
Wouldn't be able to tell you that.
All right, we're going to take one more question from Shooting Marla, and then we're going to go. You talk about the manifesto having said things against corporations, but specifically United Healthcare, and do you believe that Mangione acted alone?
We believe at this point, our investigation is leaning toward he was acting alone. So, like I stated earlier, we're still working through the investigation. We're not stopping today. And as far as the manifesto, like I said, I don't have the complete details of that. It's in the possession of the Altoona Police Department.
We're gonna shift to
Yep, yep. Good job, Chief. Commissioner, Chief Mangione.
We've been listening there to New York City officials confirming a person of interest is now being questioned in the New York City murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. They say he's identified as 26-year-old Luigi Mangione. A nationwide manhunt has been underway since Thompson was shot and killed outside a New York City hotel on Wednesday. Now police are saying they're questioning Mangione in Altoona, Pennsylvania, saying, among other things, he was carrying fake IDs, a written document, and a gun similar to the one used in the assassination-style killing. I want to bring in ABC senior investigative correspondent Aaron Katursky, covering the story for us from the very beginning. Aaron, what do you make of what officials are saying here and how many things they found on Mangione's person?
Authorities said they did not have his name, the name Luigi Mangione, before a heads-up McDonald's employee in Altoona, Pennsylvania, recognized him from images police had shared through the media around the world, and police credited that individual with recognizing the person, calling police, who were able to take him into custody, where he's now charged on gun offenses. He had a 9mm ghost gun capable of firing a 9mm round, similar to the murder weapon in the Brian Thompson case. The authorities credited good old-fashioned police work with getting that image out from the countless hours of surveillance footage from 60,000 surveillance cameras in New York City, and then the heads-up member of the public who called it in. But until that moment, Diane, they did not know who their suspect was.
And Aaron, what more can you tell us about the fake IDs they say this person of interest had on him and this written document they're saying may speak to motivation here?
These writings are described as having some kind of ill will toward corporate America, according to the chief of detectives, Joe Kenny. I can tell you from several law enforcement sources that they speak of anger and frustration toward the insurance industry, and may give the authorities some window into Luigi Mangione's alleged motivation. The ID was fake. A New Jersey ID that was very similar to the fake ID the suspect used to check into a hostel on Manhattan's Upper West Side. And those clues give police confidence that this is their guy.
All thanks, they say, to someone seeing something and saying something. And I want to bring in our former FBI agent, ABC News contributor Brad Garrett. Brad, they're calling this a strong person of interest. What do you think that says for where this investigation's heading?
I think they appear to really have the right guy. And I'll tell you one thing quickly. What typically is the downfall of defendants is keeping things that attach them to a case. The gun, the manifesto, and those things are going to be critical to prosecuting him. And so that's really, it just is unbelievable and consistent with other cases, in particular in these high-profile cases where it's clearly cause-driven. We don't know exactly what that means, but he clearly was on a mission.
So, Brad, what are you watching for next now? What questions need to be answered to advance this now?
So the key is, will he talk to NYPD when they get there to really break down motivation, where the weapon came from? In other words, everything they can get from him that links him to this case. I'll tell you, based on experience, that may take 5 minutes. That may take 3 or 4 hours. It really depends whether he wants to. Some people want to brag, Diane, about what they have done because it's important to them. And we'll see if they can get him to that point.
All right. So, again, a person of interest now in custody in the murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Our thanks to Brad Garrett and Aaron Katursky. Our coverage will continue on ABC News Live and abcnews.com. And David Muir will have...
There you have it, you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. They are saying he has been detained. He is a person of interest. They are saying he is allegedly the assassin of the CEO. Now, let me know your thoughts. I see a lot of people in the comments saying they think that they've got the wrong guy. Do you think that they got the right guy? Is this the assassin? If you think so, put yes. If you think no, put no. Curious to get your thoughts and as to why. A lot of people in the comments I'm seeing saying things just don't seem to be adding up for this particular thing here with this individual. Now, in addition to that, let's go ahead and take a look at this article that's going to give us a little bit more information. And also, I am watching the live feed outside of the police department for Altoona, Pennsylvania right now. There appears to be some sort of press briefing that's going to be taking place here very soon. I'm keeping an eye on that while we're doing our live stream so that way I can give you live breaking news just in case. But let's take a look at this right now as this article coming out says, suspect in the fatal shooting of the United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson ID'd as Luigi Mangione. I think the correct pronunciation is. A lot of people letting me know in the comments as well. An ex-Ivy League student, they are saying. And here's the footage of that taking place. And it says the suspect nabbed in the assassination of the United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson is an anti-capitalist Ivy League grad who liked online quotes from the Unabomber Ted Kaczynski and seethed in a manifesto. These parasites had it coming, law enforcement sources told the Post on Monday. So very against the healthcare system. Tech whiz Luigi Mangione, 26, originally from Towson, Maryland, apparently hated the medical community because of how it treated his sick relative, sources have said. So there is your cause. A lot of people asking what was the motive. He has not been charged in the slaying, but was taken into custody Monday morning while eating at a McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania, ending an intense manhunt sparked by the cold-blooded execution of Thompson outside a Manhattan hotel last week, sources have said. The former prep school valedictorian was caught with a ghost gun that uses 9mm bullets, a silencer, a U.S. passport, 4 fake IDs with names used during the assassination stint in New York City, and the manifesto, sources have said. The manifesto consisted of 2.5 handwritten pages that mirrored the quotes that Mangione posted on his Goodreads account from wacky anti-establishment Ted Kaczynski, the infamous Unabomber, who terrorized the country for nearly 2 decades by mailing deadly bombs before he was nabbed in 1996, sources say. And here's a look at his New Jersey driver's license that they were saying was fake. Rosario Mark was the fake ID information that he had here. Imagine a society that subjects people to conditions that make them terribly unhappy, then gives them medications to take away their unhappiness. Kaczynski wrote at one point in a quote liked by Mangione. Science fiction. It is already happening to some extent in our own society. Instead of removing the conditions that make people depressed, modern society gives them antidepressant drugs. In effect, antidepressants are a means of modifying an individual's internal state in such a way as to enable him to tolerate social conditions that he would otherwise find intolerable. The manifesto said the suspect acted alone, sources have said. Here's another picture of him in Hawaii. And again, this is a photo of that assassination that took place a couple of days ago. Mangione had a particularly personal reason to hate the medical community. Its treatments of an ailing relative, sources said. Online obituaries show that he lost his grandmother in 2013 and his grandfather in 2017. His LinkedIn page indicates that he once worked as an assisted living facility for the elderly for a few months back in 2014 while still in high school. It is unclear if Mangione has yet made any statements to the police. Mangione also subscribed to anti-capitalist and climate change causes, according to law enforcement sources, citing online activity gleaned by authorities. And here you can see this is where the assassination took place, and this is where he was captured in Altoona, Pennsylvania, approximately 276 miles west of New York City. Mangione was valedictorian of his 2016 high school graduating class at the Gilman School in Baltimore, where he played soccer, according to online sites. High school tuition at the all-boys school is nearly $40,000 a year. He said at the time of graduation that he planned to seek a degree in artificial intelligence focused on the areas of computer science and cognitive science at the University of Pennsylvania, according to an interview with the Baltimore Fishbowl. The tech hotshot graduated cum laude from the private Ivy League institution in Philadelphia with a Bachelor's of Science in Engineering, Computer and Information Science in 2020, according to his LinkedIn profile. He also completed a Master's of Science in Engineering, Computer and Information Science at the University of Pennsylvania, his profile stated. His LinkedIn suggested that he is a data engineer at a car company based in California, although he listed his current home as Honolulu in Hawaii. So they're saying that he has several different locations he's been at. And actually, you can see here a breakdown, a map of different activities that took place, what unfolded here across this map. Brian Thompson, the CEO of insurance giant United Healthcare, was gunned down on Wednesday outside of a luxury Midtown hotel in a brazen targeted attack, police said. The methodical assassination used firearms with a silencer outside of the Hilton Hotel alongside 6th Avenue. The gunman fired at Thompson multiple times, striking his back right calf before fleeing on foot. The NYPD released a new photo of the hooded suspect standing in front of a counter at a Starbucks at West 56th Street and 6th Avenue, just minutes from the Hilton Hotel where he gunned down Thompson, 50 years old. Thompson was named CEO of United Health in April of 2021. He joined the company in 2004. He was one of several senior executives at the company under investigation by the Department of Justice. Thompson's wife, Paulette, said her husband had been getting threats before he was assassinated. The NYPD is investigating a possible message which appears to include the words deny, depose, and defend written on live rounds and shell casings left behind by the masked assassin. A person of interest has been nabbed by police officers inside a McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania. The suspect has been identified as Luigi Mangione, 26, originally from Townsend, Maryland. He's a former Ivy League student who hated the medical community. Now, the state of the country's government and economy were apparently on his mind for years. He reported a Wall Street Journal article on Facebook in 2019 titled Obstacle to Deficit Cutting, A Nation of Entitlements. His Facebook account, which did not have any recent postings, says that he is the co-founder of AppRoar Studios, which describes itself as an app development startup founded to provide the simplest and most engaging gaming experience. While at Penn, Mangione appeared in an article in a student publication that praised him for starting up a student-run video game development club. The club is not known at the University of Pennsylvania Game Research and Development Environment. So there you have it, the updates coming out on this assassination. They're saying that they believe that they have captured the suspect in this at a McDonald's, 26-year-old Luigi Mangione. So there you have it, you guys. Now, we will be seeing, I've been checking the live feeds. Apparently, there's supposed to be some sort of statement coming out. I'll go ahead and share this with you so that way you can see it, what it is that I'm looking at here, waiting. I've been watching the live feed as the police say they have detained the individual. The Altoona Police Department was expected to come out and make a statement. However, the entire time I've been live, I've been keeping an eye on it, have not seen anything yet. But they are saying that they believe they have captured the individual that assassinated the CEO of United Healthcare. So as more information comes out on this, I'll be sure to share, but they're saying the motives are that he was very upset. He hated the healthcare industry because of prior situations that he had with relatives, family members, his grandmother, and his grandfather. But again, you guys, that is the latest breaking news coming out. And if anything else comes out, I'll be sure to share so that way you guys know the latest. And if you appreciate that, do me a favor, take a second. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like button for me. Subscribe to stay up to date. It's totally free. I'll keep you up to speed on everything. And that is the latest, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.